are not alone in this place. The Fanatic is on the prowl, and he smells your sickness.
Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to episode 21. Today we're going up against the Fanatic for the first time, which should be interesting. I've never actually fought this guy before, so I have no idea what we're in for. I just hope our heroes can handle it. Speaking of which, let's take a quick look at the heroes we're working with. Kairon, Juodis Varnas, the King's Rook, Henrik the Mad, Now, I have heard a little bit about the Fanatic, and none of it... Oh, hold on a second. Let's beat these guys to death real quick. We're running a very defense-heavy team today. I'm not sure how well that'll work against the Fanatic.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
King's Rook is really our only dedicated damage dealer. Though I suppose Varnas can transform when necessary.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving. Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
Right, so where was I? Oh, the Fanatic. Since he's part of the content that I haven't really played, I didn't want to spoil the experience by reading up on him ahead of time. Obviously, I regret that decision now, but... Oh, hold that thought. We've got more people to beat to death. This would normally be a somewhat tougher fight, but with this party build, I think we'll tear right through them.
Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
The grouper's about to drop dead from blight damage, so we just need to focus on the Guardian.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own. Decisive pummeling. Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Anyway, long story short, before we get interrupted by another battle, Darkest Dungeon is a game that's all about making horrible discoveries. If I'm going to suffer at the hands of a new powerful enemy, I might as well let other people watch while it happens. Besides, maybe I'm worrying about nothing. We might end up getting lucky. We did end up powering through the Crocodilian the first time we met it. Okay, let's keep moving.
Cruel machinations spring to life with a singular purpose.
There's a random encounter ahead of us. I know the Fanatic spawns like a mini-boss, so that might be him. Huh. Henrik's compulsion actually worked to his advantage for once.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
Oh, it's just vampires. Honestly, fighting these guys is a lot more trivial when you're running an infected party. Nice. The Gatekeeper drops on his next action.
A death by inches. Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
They love Varnas. Apparently they just can't get enough of that blighted blood.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms. A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
That actually went really smoothly. If I weren't so worried about the Fanatic, I'd actually be feeling pretty great right now. Okay, the next hallway's clear, but we've got another random encounter right after that. That might be him. I should just let Henrik start touching everything. Alright, there's another random encounter ahead of us. All this suspense is going to kill me.
The flames of the smoldering pyre dance in his eyes with murderous zeal.
Whoa, hold on. Shoot. Okay, so he's like the hag. He grabs one of your party members, and then you have to free them before they burn to death. Let's see if we can cut Varnas down. We'll also try to buy time by debuffing the Fanatic. Okay, that actually wasn't too bad. That just did minor stress damage across our whole party. He really is like the hag. Really? Okay, that's annoying, but still not that bad. Let's see what we can do here. Jeez. Okay, that's his fourth different move. He's actually a little worse than the hag at this point. Alright, let's cut Varnos down. Come on! Alright, everything's fine. Everything's fine. I really wish we had brought more damage dealers, but it is what it is. We'll just have to work with what we've got. Okay, that's move number 5, but at least this one doesn't have terrible side effects. It's the fact that he gets 2 actions a turn that makes him so overwhelming. Alright, Varnos, do your thing. Now we can start doing some damage to him, but I think he's got more hit points than most of the bosses we've faced. Now, the big question here is whether people can actually die while they're on the pyre. With the hag, they automatically get spilled out of her pot when they reach death's door. Oh geez. Okay, Henrik's our only healer, so we'll just have to hope he can survive long enough to heal himself. Oh, wait. Kairon can actually defend him, but I'm not sure going on the defensive will really help us against this guy. No, we have to keep our healer alive, if at all possible.
And now the true test. Hold fast or expire. The horror.
Okay. We're definitely hurting, but we're all back in it. If we can just focus fire on this guy, I think we can take him. You've got to be kidding me. I'm not even sure how to approach this. I would try to run away, but if we do that, then I've got this terrible suspicion that Varnos will end up dying. If we're going to lose people, I at least want them to go down fighting. I'm not leaving anyone behind. Oh god. Okay, Henrik, please heal yourself. Though, if we can keep King's Rook in the fight, he can cut Varnos down, and then maybe we can get a narrow window to escape without leaving anyone behind. There we go. As long as the Fanatic stays focused on Kairon, we should be fine. Of course, now the Pyre's been moved out of Rook's reach.
Teetering on the brink, facing the abyss.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, no. Come on, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to attack him. I'm just very stressed right now, and I kind of did it by reflex. Now we're right back where we started.
Another life wasted in the pursuit of glory and gold.
We can't win this.
Gnawing uncertainty, the birthplace of dread.
I mean, if I had come into this knowing what to expect, I would have handled this fight completely differently. But it's too late now. I'm also absolutely kicking myself for missing that one opportunity we had to run when no one was tied to that damn pyre. Obviously, we could still run now, but if we do, we're almost certainly leaving Kairon to die. I don't know, maybe that is what we should do, but I just can't bring myself to do it. Okay, we'll try to tough it out. We'll wait until Kairon falls off the pyre, then we'll run. Ugh. I swear, this fight is going to give me a heart attack. Okay. There's not much point in attacking the Fanatic, so we might as well see if we can cut Kairon down a little faster. Yes. As long as he's focused on Varnos, we might actually make it through this without losing anyone else.
The abyss returns even the boldest gaze.
Please, you've got to give me a break here.
Injury and despondence set the stage for heroism or cowardice.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, no attacking this time. We're gone.
This skirmish may be lost, but the battle may yet be won.
At least Rook is taking it well. Jeez, that was a train wreck. But on the bright side, we do have a much better idea of what the Fanatic can do. Next time, we'll have a much better idea of how to approach that fight. I guess that's really what Darkest Dungeon is all about. It's the harsh learning experiences.
We fall so that we may learn to pick ourselves up once again.
Look, I'll be the first to admit that I make a lot of mistakes in Darkest Dungeon, but I do try to learn from all of them. I just wish we hadn't lost Henrik in the process. Sorry, Henrik. I guess we don't even have a body to bury this time. On the bright side, we'll be a lot more prepared the next time we take on the Fanatic, so Henrik will be avenged. Eventually. For now, let's just get back to town and see if we can pick up the pieces. Disaster. There was no other way to describe how our expedition to the Cove had gone. Henrik had been so certain that we could use the Crimson Curse to our advantage, and now he had paid the ultimate price for his hubris. That damnable Fanatic. He had made it clear that his goal was to cleanse the world of that tainted blood, but he had no idea that by killing Henrik, he had destroyed our best chance of someday finding a cure for the very plague that he himself was fighting. Granted, we had other researchers to fall back on, Rowan and Purge and the Vestal Sisters of the Sanitarium, but Henrik had been at the forefront of our academic campaign. Yes, he had been a bit too obsessed with the occult side of things, but he had always done his best to keep himself reined in. Not that it had made much difference in the end. Of course, there was nothing we could do about that now. We would just have to move on and make the most of the situation we now found ourselves thrust into. The King's Rook had actually weathered the entire horrifying ordeal surprisingly well, but it was going to take Kairon and Varnos time to recover from what they had been through. I could certainly understand that. Everyone coped with trauma in their own way. For me, it meant throwing myself back into my work. That was one of the good things about running the hamlet. There was always some manner of drudgery to help keep my mind off of the horror and loss that we had to face on a daily basis. That week, a caravan of traders had come to town, and while I was certainly in no mood to indulge them for long, I at least made a show of welcoming them to the estate. At the very least, it was a pleasant distraction for the townsfolk, for however long that would last. While I had no real need for the wares or services that the antiquarians were offering, I did at least get something from their visit. One of the members of their caravan bore a rather familiar mark, one that I had seen several times on Varnos, and one which Henrik had always sung praises about. It was the mark of the Blight, and something that we could potentially turn to our advantage, so I offered the man a job on the spot. I'm sure Henrik would have liked that. While the newcomer settled in, I turned my attention towards graver concerns. With Henrik dead, we were going to have to pursue other potential cures for the curse that was steadily spreading through our ranks. The most obvious course to take would be to investigate this self-proclaimed baron that was squatting on my estate, but I was still reluctant to take him up on his many invitations. Instead, I decided to turn our focus towards another potential solution, the mysterious old hag that lived in the woods. While going through my uncle's old notes, I had stumbled upon some of his old journal entries, and he had spoken at length about the mysterious woman's mastery of both alchemy and the occult. While there was certainly no guarantee that she would be willing to help us, it was still an opportunity that we just couldn't afford to ignore, especially now given recent events. I carefully assembled the team that would travel out into the Weald to make contact with our potential new ally. Anuk and Fox would be the party's eyes and ears, tracking the elusive old hag to a remote cabin in the woods, while Carol would handle the negotiations. If things went poorly, if the hag turned out to be just as crazed and twisted as some of the rumors insisted she was, then Ronwin would take care of it. I'll admit, in retrospect, hoping that we could form some sort of alliance with the witch was hopelessly naive. But I was still young back then. Young and full of hope. Much like our first real encounter with that vile Fanatic. It was just one of many harsh lessons that I would have to learn. On the long road to the darkest dungeon.
I had collected many rare and elusive volumes on ancient herbal properties, and was set to enjoy several weeks immersed in comfortable study. My work was interrupted, however, by a singularly striking young woman who insisted on repeated calls to the house. There is method in the wild corruption here.
It bears a form both wretched and malevolent.